What's good, people? This is the Rap Roundtable. Your boy Jarvis, Sincere the Rap Snob, Dini the Balance, the homie Mace. We just want to make sure y'all like, share, subscribe, comment, help us get our numbers up. We're trying to get 2,000 subs, 5,000. Y'all know how this go. If y'all think we're good and y'all love the content, some of y'all always say, yo, how come y'all don't have more views? It's because y'all don't sub. So make sure y'all do that and tap in with us. Peace.
The Rap Roundtable.
Conway the Machine dropped God Don't Make Mistakes.
Yes.
Right. The streets are calling it mid. I sent Sincere a Twitter post where the individual gave it a 4 out of 10.
Wow.
4 out of 10 for La Machina.
That's egregious.
That's crazy. Where's my drop?
What the fuck?
Heinous.
That's insane. So
That's a little severe.
it's a little severe. Mace, I know we know that this is not your bag. You know, but you've listened to Griselda more since you started fucking with us. You're giving the underground vibes.
Facts,
You've been
you know what I
dabbling
mean?
a little bit more.
Gotta get in my
I
boom
feel
bap
like
bag.
you're the best person to talk to because we're the Griselda fanboys. So you'd probably be the most reasonable person at the table tonight. What were your thoughts on God Don't Make Mistakes?
So I don't think it was mid, guys.
Okay.
I think that's a little bit much to call it mid, but it wasn't spectacular. It didn't blow me away. You know, I appreciated a few tracks. I feel like I'm learning Conway a lot more.
Okay.
I feel like he's the most personal MC in the Griselda camp. So I appreciated Guilty, Stress, the title track. You know what I mean? So I appreciated that. I feel like I know Kanye a lot better. Conway a lot better. But the production was, listen, I'll say this.
Wow,
it's not
bro.
my type
That's
of
crazy,
production
bro.
anyway. It's not something I wasn't expecting when I saw the production list. It sounded what I thought it would sound like, but
Not
it's
enough 808s for you?
not nearly enough. I needed some little dirt on the hook.
bro. That's crazy.
Yeah,
Some
man.
fumes.
A money bag yo verse or something.
A big 30 ad-lib.
Smoking on the pack?
Not enough packs being smoked. Not enough at all.
But he's a smoker,
The
you know what I mean?
triplet hi-hats all over the track.
You know, but I wasn't super blown away by it. There's been a lot of controversy with the album, the Shady release. You know, it actually leaked one day early with a lot of the samples intact that got taken off of the album. And I listened to both.
Really?
Yeah, I did.
You ain't throw it in the group chat, bro?
Sin, I
Damn.
apologize.
You learn from you, Sin. You be so into this shit too,
Mace
Sin.
dug deep.
I had to. I knew
I feel hurt, man.
trenches. When we reviewed the West Side, I was way too quiet, so I had to come with some heat for this album. You know what I mean? I had to let y'all know I actually listened this time.
All right.
You know what I mean? So, but I will say it's not as egregious as, say, a Slaughterhouse album.
Right.
People were nervous about Shady kind of knocking his sound off or making him make an album that he didn't want to make. This is a Conway album. You know what I mean? This is what I expected, but it didn't blow me away. Nah. If I wasn't already a fan, this wouldn't make me a fan.
Okay.
I'm trying to say.
Deanie, talk to me.
I can see that.
Mace did a good job, bro. I mean, that summary is pretty essential to the plot going here, man.
Okay.
Just the lyrics we
But when
know.
you heard it, Deshaun,
Yo.
what did you think?
It's the government. Y'all keep me low though.
Nah, you like Mace said everything. Like, what do you think?
It's he summed up a lot of what I felt. The beats were just dry. Like, call my man Sin. Talk to this man.
You hear this heat
You
playing?
hear that
Nah,
going
like-
in the background.
Yeah,
A lot of times I'm listening to the
Rap
beat.
Roundtable.
And you know, Conway's an MC. He's an MC's MC. So I'm listening, and the lyrics are always gonna hit hard. But I was like, I can't even bop to this. It was not bop music. And I'm not saying it has to bop on some like pop bop.
Right.
But on some, I need to at least vibe
The
when I'm
head-
listening
the-
to
the
it.
head
I
nod
couldn't
and all of
even-
that, right.
It's not that kind of album, and I really wanted that from Conway, especially after looking at the track list that you
Right.
sent me.
Yeah.
Right, Sin?
Yeah, I sent it.
So I was hyped. You see my reaction to the joint. I was like, okay, we got Hit Boy on there. We got Derringer. Derringer. I got to do that for you. Like, I was really looking forward to. Like I said, the lyrics are always gonna be there. Like from Conway, because he's a rapper's rapper. But
Right.
maybe different people need to be in the room helping with the beat selection, bro. That's like Jarv used to be the talk to Jarv. You got a combination here.
Saying.
I get you right too, Macito, voice of the young people.
You know what I mean? I get a call of dirt.
It's lyric. I wouldn't give it no 4. That's ridiculous. I would probably go with a 7
Okay.
All right.
because I feel like lyrically I still got the sustenance I needed.
7 is a good album, my boy.
it wasn't a good album as far as rapping, but I want to hear y'all perspectives. Let me not let the liquor talk already.
You want to go last?
That's
no, I
your
could
boy.
go now.
right,
I could go now.
Boy.
I could go now because I want to echo some of the things that Dini and May said. The production was a little lackluster, a little flat. Honestly, and yet they're gonna shoot me out there, especially on Twitter.
Fuck 'em.
They're gonna shoot at me. I feel Derringer was the weakest part of this album, bro.
Wow, bro. That's
Facts.
crazy, bro.
I honestly feel that.
How could you say nothing about Derringer?
And here's the thing. I think Conway went into this album.
is the best.
I think Conway went into this album thinking I gotta keep fucking with Derringer. He had 5 of the 12 tracks.
Yeah,
right.
5 out
I
of
gotta
12.
maintain my sound.
That's almost half. He went into this album thinking I gotta keep this
It's
signature
energy.
sound, or otherwise the nerds are gonna start saying what?
The same shit they're saying about Benny.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Here's a Derringer.
Yeah, exactly.
beats.
I just needed to hear that
Oh,
voice
okay.
again.
It has to
I figured it out
Every
after the
ep,
fact.
we
Yeah,
gonna
there we
find a
go.
way. We're gonna find a way.
But no, there was to take a page out of Dini's book. There was some joints on there.
Yeah.
It has some joints.
Yeah.
Jill Scott
Yeah.
rapping?
Yo, Jill Scott dropping
What?
bars. That shit shocked the fuck out of me,
Did
man.
she write those?
She was cooking.
I
man.
don't
ain't
know.
even gonna
Shout
lie.
out to
I ain't even gonna
don't know.
Seventh the God was a very beautiful part of that album too.
Yeah,
Genius,
I
my
like
fault.
Guilty. Bink produced that. Shout out to Bink.
I just wish it was longer.
Yeah,
That's
a
not
lot.
the
I mean, a lot of the songs I wish it was longer.
Deep, introspective tracks.
So much more with Justice League produced that.
Yeah, that went crazy.
Chanel Pearls. Shout out to Cosmo Beats. I'm not too familiar with Cosmo Beats, but what I heard on this album, you doing your thing, bro. God Don't Make Mistakes, the last track produced by Alchemist. Piano Love, which is super old, but I still love that track, produced by Alchemist. So there were joints on there, just not produced by Derringer. I'm sorry. It is what it is.
Hate to see it.
Joe, what
Yeah,
you
man.
got, man?
Hey, listen. When I listened to this project, being that I got the street's opinion before I pressed play, I went in with some trepidation. I was concerned, like, oh shit, did he drop a dud? Is this album really mid? Like, again, homie gave it a 4. You know what I mean? So it's like I can see both sides of the argument. You see how Dini gave it a 7, and then this guy on Twitter, whose name we'll leave out, gave it a 4.
Right.
It's because when you listen to the project, the rapping, Conway, this might have been his best rapping performance on
Theatrical.
anything he's done to date. You know what I mean?
Saying something.
So from that perspective, the album, if we just talking bars, flow, straight up technique, it's a
Up
9
there.
out of 10.
There you go.
Yeah.
It's a 9 out of 10 album.
There you
Yeah.
go.
He didn't miss
Yeah.
as far as technique goes.
But
Was he repetitive with some of the shit he was talking about on the project? Yes. Talking about getting hit in the neck and being paralyzed. He mentioned that a couple of times.
I expect that though.
Talking about he referenced pushing the culture a couple of times. And I'm like, this is a little redundant. This is a little repetitive. You know what I'm saying? But again, the rapping. I have a hard time finding a nigga right now who's better than Conway at
tough.
rapping. That nigga
Crazy.
is really good at this shit.
Dumb
and
nice.
getting better. Yo, if you ask me, is Conway the best rapper right now? I got a hard time saying no.
Above Benny?
Benny got
Benny's-
something different.
Benny said it himself.
Right.
As far as the art of rapping, it's hard,
Conway
bro.
got it.
And then you think about he got the feature with Wayne and Rose. What the fuck was Wayne doing on that track, Mace?
Listen.
Yo,
Talk to
Wayne-
us.
Wayne-
Yo. I have this. Hold on.
Go ahead,
I have
say it.
this as a big asterisk in my notes. Wayne's streak of notable features
Over.
And
is done.
over.
His streak is
You
over.
hear them celebrating, folks.
Get
You
him
hear
out.
them? Now listen, it really sounded like they sent.
It's over.
He's out of here.
It
We
really
ain't gotta
sounded
hear
like
about
they
this,
sent
goddamn.
Wayne a completely different beat. Like I don't know.
They
what
really
he's
did.
rapping over.
You putting the cape over this motherfucker?
That flow is horrible on that. Like
Who was he
The
doing?
lyrics, the flow, it was just trash,
Wayne
bro.
raps,
Right.
come on now. That's the way he raps. But his flow is so disgusting.
The fuck are you talking about?
The fact that
fuck are you
we had a
talking about?
lackluster Ross verse. Let's keep it a buck. It
No,
was
no, no,
it was
no,
a
no,
typical.
it was a
It was
typical
a
Ross
typical
verse.
Ross verse.
It was cool.
It wasn't lack. It was
no,
typical.
No, no. I'm gonna get
Wayne's
that.
verse
Say
was
about
so
that verse.
bad that nobody's focusing that Ross had a bad verse
So
too.
here's the thing about that whole song. You said how you said that you feel like Wayne's verse didn't belong on that beat.
Right.
I feel like both features seemed very much mailed in. You didn't notice at the end of Rose's verse, it kind of ended abruptly.
really
It almost
did.
seems like it was like a here, nigga. Send the invoice.
right.
Not for nothing. Beanie Siegel had a better performance with half his voice than Weezy and Rose on that album.
Why don't they
crazy as
turn
that
him
sound.
up? Why don't
Listen,
they ever turn him up?
Listen,
I
this
don't know the
is
science behind
this
that.
is another gripe that I have with the album. There was some
The mixing was
dubious
terrible.
mixing decisions
Wow.
on this album, starting with the title track. I have a problem with the title track for a few reasons. One,
It's the best
why
song
do
instant at the end.
Why do you have a feature on your title track? That should be you introducing yourself on the album. I don't like having another person on your I'm sorry, I said title track. Intro track.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, my bad. So why do you have a
He's got
feature?
off though. He did.
But you
But I
can't
agree with
hear
Sin.
him.
Turn him. They
I
need
agree
to turn
with
him
Sin.
up.
That was a bad intro though. I agree with Sin. That was a bad intro
You
track.
gotta be careful. He has some issues with his voice.
I know, I
So
understand,
turn him up.
but it's not. I'm not putting the blame on him.
Okay.
Either the producer or the engineer.
Somebody fucked
the,
up.
But he-
the mixing engineer, the mastering engineer, somebody
But
along
he sounds like
the
that on
way
almost everything
should
now.
have-
So it's,
He
I don't
sound
think it's
on
just
the
that-
Dave East
yeah.
joint. He sounded a little better than that.
I think you gotta
usually
raise
low
his
like that, though.
vocals.
Yeah, exactly.
Or like do the
Right.
audio trick. Shout out
Double
to
up.
Josh here. Record his vocals low so that when you raise it, it doesn't clip or peak or none of that stupid shit.
right.
So you know what I mean?
it can't get much lower than what it is. So.
Bro. But back to the critique of the album from my perspective. The rapping, expert. Sin, you guys all mentioned it. The beats, ugh. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The thing I'll say is this album was definitely paint by the numbers. There were no dynamic moments. You know, when you go to your favorite albums, your favorite artists, we always talk about it at that point in the album where it's like 3-4 tracks in a row where it's like boom, 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 boom. Oh my God, this is amazing. That's when you know the album is a classic at this moment right here.
Right.
The rapping was there, but the beats, the song choices, the overall vibe of the album, like even when Hit Boy's record came on, Hit Boy's beat sounded like it didn't belong on the project.
Because it was just so
It was
so
warm
good.
and it was
Yeah.
so good by comparison
Yeah.
of the other beats.
those
It wasn't
weak
even
beats.
close. You know what I'm saying? The joint Babas with the spoken word, fuck out of here. Stupid.
No. Hold on.
Real shit.
Chill. I want to talk about that track because I found it interesting
Right.
because it almost felt like Conway wanted to throw a little bit of Kendrick dynamic
Right.
into the mix. I'm not gonna say I hated it. It just felt
I
a little
hated
out
it.
of place.
I
With the
hated
spoken word, the beat was a little, unorthodox, right? But I respect the attempt.
You know
put it
what
that way.
disappoints me, fellas? Because I know I'm going along with this album, but it's like, it seemed like Conway had a lot of great ideas. He wanted this to be a really great album. He wanted to not just be the Gunto and Barsmith. He wanted to let you in. And lyrically, he did.
Absolutely.
And I gotta say, and I'll put a bow on it like this, I hate that he wasted all of this great rap on beats and acoustics that were so bad. This album is a fucking waste of great lyrics. This is his Blueprint 2.
Ball work
Hov
is
was at his
crazy.
peak in Blueprint 2, and the album was garbage by comparison.
the way
you
he
heard
was
this?
making you
Sit,
feel-
wait. I said Blueprint 2 was garbage, you fucks. I swear I don't talk bad about Jay-Z. I just said it.
Am I the only person that likes Blueprint too, bro?
Ninth Wonder
And I've been
remix
saying it
Godson
since
too.
it dropped.
We need a Ninth Wonder remix of this shit or
Bro.
something like that. Or Sensei, the rap.
Blueprint 2 has some
I mean,
joints.
Son, it did, but the body of
As a
work
total-
was bad.
Yeah.
Following up Blueprint, an all-time great album, that album is bad. This album is his Blueprint 2. He's at his peak of his powers right now. The beats whack. So, some of the sounds, the mixing whack.
Nowhere near as good as La Machina.
Nowhere near it. It's not even in the same zip code.
Yeah.
As far as sound quality.
And he's
everything.
lyrically better. This is like you got a player. This is almost like with Cole the year after Shaq left.
Bad team.
man.
He's really good. Cole gave you 27 a night and nobody remembers.
And I want to go back.
I think my 05, the season we missed
Nobody
the
remembers
playoffs.
that season. This is gonna be his 05 season. We're
wanna
not
go-
gonna remember this shit.
I want to go back to something Dini said, where maybe he needs better people around him
Yes.
or in the room
Yes.
to direct him. And now that he's indie, you know what I mean?
Let's talk about it.
Yeah. So like, it's a catch-22 because I feel like Conway is the type of artist that needs to be indie.
Mm-hmm.
But then with that independence comes, all right, you know what I mean? Like
a lot
if
of
you
freedom creatively.
right, a lot of freedom creatively, but a lot of responsibility in terms of executing what your vision is. And some people can execute with a limited vision, and some people have an incredible vision and can't really execute.
Let me ask
some
you guys,
people have both, but I feel like Conway has more vision than execution right now.
So let me ask you this then. Let me ask the table this. Is this album basically a victim of Benny pushing the envelope sonically for Griselda? We see what Benny's doing. Is it that we've heard what it could be? So when Conway goes back to this, it's like, we don't want that anymore.
It's a possibility, man. I mean,
I think that's a good point, actually.
No, I think
Because it's
that's tough to just say that, though.
Think about what West Side
it's a
is
white
doing.
blanket to just cast over.
I'm asking you.
Because
Speaking
there
of-
you go. West Side Gun has been doing the same thing with great music.
And you
Yeah,
think
but-
about the space. Hold on, before you answer,
Right.
we're gonna give you all of the chess pieces. Think about the space of the underground scene. Think about how Ransom and fucking Rome just pushed the envelope of Coupe de Grape. Think about the way shit is sounding right now.
Mac Homie went crazy.
Mac
last
Homie
year.
wait crazy twice.
Yeah.
Right.
Is the space
Fire.
just? Is it moving in a space that Conway needs to catch up?
I think part of it is that.
Okay.
But I also think part of it, and this is just me holding out hope for the artist that I think Conway can be, because he has some really. I feel like there was like
some
a
moments
couple
on-
of brilliant moments on the album.
God don't make mistakes. The song
Lyrically,
Whoa.
Right.
Crazy.
phenomenal.
That's
I
the
think
last
that should
song.
have been the intro, to be honest.
That's a fact. And I think I don't know. I just think for what he wants to do lyrically, and like I said in the last episode, if he taps into more of that, introspective, emotional, vulnerable side of him, like he's gonna shine. But he needs the production to back him up. So I just feel like Benny has made better production choices, or better choices in producers for what he does. So I feel like Conway needs to do that for what Conway does.
So,
And not necessarily follow what Benny's doing in terms of
We'll find his own niche.
But yeah, exactly.
maybe it's time. He's dropping his name in these interviews. Maybe it's time for Conway to take the pusher route and get with Kanye. Maybe it's time.
I think
that would be crazy.
Because I don't think the Hit Boy Conway dynamic works the same way the Hit Boy and Benny dynamic works.
Hit Boy and Nas. So
Yeah, that's a good dynamic.
I don't know.
I
think
I would
Kanye
want to hear Push's album first before I made that
But
assessment.
what about, we just heard fucking Daytona.
That was
Don did
4
too,
years ago.
like-
You right,
Nah,
but Kanye,
hold on.
Kanye's
Kanye's
for sure.
Hold up.
You're not judging 4 years ago, are you?
Y'all motherfuckers coming at me.
Oh, here we go. We're talking about production, sin. Leave Kendrick out of this
y'all
shit.
coming
You
at me,
can't.
but you knew where I was going.
You
though.
knew
where you were
knew where I
going.
was going.
Yes. We're just talking about production, bro.
That's only a year away from when Kendrick last dropped.
But he gave us a single. His album's on the way.
Oh,
It's
my-
rolling out.
Yes.
But
Nigga said
a-
turn
not a
red
feature.
on it.
Daytona,
Yeah. Song.
we just heard
No, we not.
Pusha T on
Bro,
Daytona. That was
what
4
we
years
saying
ago.
that Kanye just
Get
dropped
outta here,
Don.
man.
We
He
talking
said he
about
wanna hear
production.
that shit,
Production.
dog.
He done draw Kendrick into this shit.
4 years is a
Wow,
late for
guy.
him.
Donda just
4
dropped.
years
We know
is a
what-
long
we know-
time.
I just feel like Kanye, being the attention to detail persona that he is, might be the nigga that tells Conway like, yo, that ain't it, bro. We need something else. You said that already. Say something else.
Yeah,
But even in
Yeah.
the sense of, let's say Conway was rapped over the Hermes 8 beats. Let's say like the way it was West Side Guns, it was Conway's. That would have still been a great album.
yeah.
So
yeah.
it can't just be just the one guy fits all kind of thing, because he's just that nice. It just
Or what if Derringer, to Sin's point, just not what people say he is? Are we wilding? Because I don't want to piss people off.
The beats were mid by anybody's standards. They, like I said, without the
Because Alchemist
knock,
and Conway made some shit.
There you go.
it's a
going back from
it's a very
Lulu.
fine line between having a sound and just being flat out redundant. You know what I mean? Because Alchemist has a sound.
Yes.
Alchemist has a sound. Derringer might be on the redundant side
Is
of that.
Derringer the Swiss Beats of the underground?
Mm.
Wow, bro.
That's
Shout-
crazy,
Swizz Beats
bro.
did a lot,
Shouts
though.
to Mace.
I just think, you know what it is? You put it this way. It's like, to use another sports analogy. We're the Rap Roundtable basketball team. Josh is the head coach, right? Josh is getting us to the second round. Sometimes, he's the second round coach. We need a new head coach to get us to the chip. Like Josh is Del Harris. We got Del Harris out the way. We bring in Phil Jackson. We get 3 chips.
3P.
Maybe
Easy.
for a moment, Derringer was what Griselda needed.
Right.
Now that Griselda is a worldwide brand, Derringer has hit his limit.
Expiration date?
It's expired. Think about it. Think about it again. We talk about guys. We this underground shit. There's a lot of niggas making fire. Sin is right next to me. There's a lot of niggas making way more fire than Derringer. No shade. It's just limits and levels to everything.
Yeah.
Sin made this beat playing, by the way. Just so you don't think I'm blowing smoke.
But this shit was
You know what
tough
I mean?
soon as
Maybe
it came on.
Maybe Derringer had a bad batch. Maybe this is a bad batch.
Maybe it's a bad batch.
Maybe people need to get back in the studio and concoct beats
You
together.
can't
with
give
the
somebody
artists.
a bad
That's time
batch for their major label debut.
I think it's time to move on.
Right.
Benny had
And
the
from
vision.
Shady, too.
Benny went to who? Fucking what's his name? Hit Boy for his debut album.
But
It's
West
time to move
Coast.
That's
on.
supposed to be the big
not
one.
not
from
not
Shady.
not to speculate on a personal level, because obviously I don't know Conway on a personal level. But a lot of what he talks about on this album is supporting it, brothers, right?
True.
Supporting his people, supporting the people that he came up with.
Black
you know what I
people
mean?
as a whole.
You know what I mean?
societal shit.
Uplifting.
Maybe he just feels like, Derringer got me this far. I need to
I gotta stay with him.
I gotta stick
that's
with him and
fact.
be loyal. You know,
But
what I
at
mean?
some point, loyalty and pushing the art, something got to give, no?
But
Some gotta
if
give.
if Derringer really wanted to see him shine, though, Derringer would point him in the direction of something that would improve the sound. Maybe Derringer could still be a part of that process, but these beats that we heard were just not it, my guy.
It wasn't there. He gave the people what they wanted.
It wasn't more job
And
plays than that.
and the streets
You know what
are
I'm saying?
upset. And again, because you see what with the aesthetic, what Westside can do with that aesthetic. We see Benny pushing the envelope with different producers and making fire. Conway needs to get with Kanye and figure some shit out.
You heard it
You
here
might be
first.
right, Sin.